Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from a very cold Potchefstroom, I would like to introduce you to my topic today, which is property in virtual worlds. I'm a member of the law faculty, and as such I will be looking at the legal aspects of this topic. I'm completing my thesis today, hopefully submitting it by this evening, and I will try and fit that 450 pages into the rest of the 4.5 minutes left to me. So, what is a virtual world? What is virtual property? And of course, why should we care? Those are the main questions that I usually get when I speak about this topic, and hopefully I will be able to answer some of them in this short presentation. On the screen there you will see a representation of a player in a virtual world called an avatar, and this avatar is holding on to a virtual sword. That virtual sword of course is an object, and as such that object is found in the virtual world. Right, so let's look at the first question. What are virtual worlds? And here we've got a very nice academic description, and we will not bother with that today. Rather, let's take a look at this one that I formulated myself. A virtual world is an alternative, non-physical world in contrast to the real physical world we live in. So, bearing that in mind, we've got two main types of virtual worlds. These are the leveling worlds, where you kill for points and social status. Examples are World of Warcraft and EverQuest. I'm sure most of you have heard of World of Warcraft. And then we have non-leveling worlds, where socialization is the purpose. And examples of these are typically There.com and Second Life. Here we've got two quick slides. The one showing crime committed in a virtual world. In fact, this was transmitted on TV for an episode of CSI, and there we have someone investigating the virtual murder. The next slide shows some destruction of property. There we see an avatar holding a gun, and in the background, very small from your perspective, is a demolished car. That is the property of someone, virtual property that is, that was destroyed. Hence, we need some protection for that. So, what is virtual property? The word property has many different meanings, and I will not go into all of those, but for purposes of the discussion here, we can say that property mostly refers to objects. And in terms of virtual worlds, objects found inside of virtual worlds, which are similar in form and function to real-world counterparts. And they have value, and that's the important thing for us today. They have either economic or sentimental value, and therefore they should be protected. If someone steals your watch in the real world, you would want to have some protection. If it's lost or damaged, you would want to have remuneration for it. You would want to have some legal sanctions that someone cannot just take it and walk away with it. You want it to be protected by the same legal remedies as in the real world. In other words, if you have a virtual watch, your avatar is wearing a virtual watch, you would want it protected in the real world. And therefore it is not just a game. Consequences of things that happen in virtual worlds have real world effect. So let's take a quick look at the virtual property object. An example is a virtual chair at the wrestling match. If form follows function, then in the virtual world, the virtual wrestler would hit his counterpart over the head with the virtual chair, and the virtual chair would break and damage his opponent. Or we have the virtual sword. Remember the one we saw at the beginning? Versus a nice real-world counterpart. And to conclude, I'd just like to give you some interesting facts. Virtual world crime is real, and theft of items, both in and outside of virtual worlds, are protected against theft. Yes, courts will protect you against that. And economically speaking, The economy of virtual worlds account for more than $7 billion US. That was in 2007 already. Now it's a lot more. So to conclude, don't laugh at the person who plays World of Warcraft. They're probably making money and could have a real sword. Any questions? No? Good. I hope you enjoyed this presentation.